If you're going to confess to me, at least say it properly. The message appears at the top of my screen like a threat disguised as a suggestion, and for a full 3 seconds, I forget how to breathe. My thumb hovers uselessly over my phone, my brain scrambling to catch up with what I'm seeing, because there's no way that message is meant for me. Except it is. It's a reply. To me. To the text I sent 20 minutes ago. The text I was never supposed to send to anyone but my crush. My stomach drops so fast it feels like I just missed a step on a staircase. I scroll up, slow, horrified, like watching a car crash in reverse. And there it is. Every word. Every humiliating, painfully honest word I spent an hour drafting, rewriting, deleting, rewriting again. The confession. The one where I finally said it. How long I've liked him. How I notice the way he laughs. The way he pushes his sleeves up when he's focused. The way he says my name like it actually matters. It's all there. Sent. Delivered. Read. Just not to the right person. No. I whisper under my breath, shaking my head like that might somehow undo it. No, no, no. My fingers move before my brain does. Wrong number. I'm so sorry. Please ignore that. I hit send. Immediately regret how desperate that sounds. The 3 dots appear. Disappear. Appear again. He's typing. Of course he's typing. Why wouldn't he be typing? My heart starts pounding, loud enough I swear it echoes in my ears. Then the reply comes in. That didn't sound like something you'd send to the wrong person. I swallow hard. My throat feels dry, tight, like I've been caught doing something I can't explain my way out of. Because I can't. He's right. It didn't sound wrong. It sounded real. Because it was real. Just not for him. I stare at the screen, trying to come up with something. Anything. That doesn't make this worse, but my brain is blank. Completely blank. Another message pops up before I can type. You went quiet. Pause. Then, that's not very convincing for someone who claims they're not in love with me. My chest tightens. This isn't happening. This is actually happening. I'm not. I type, fingers trembling, deleting it, rewriting. Deleting again. I didn't mean to send that to you. That's better. Less pathetic. Slightly less humiliating. Send. The typing bubble comes back instantly this time, like he's been waiting. Watching. Then why did it sound like you meant every word? My heart stutters. Because I did. I press my lips together, staring at the question like it might disappear if I wait long enough. It doesn't. It just sits there, heavy, expectant. Another message. Say it again. My breath catches. What? But this time, he adds, say my name. My fingers go cold. I don't even know his name. A strange, uneasy feeling curls low in my stomach. Something sharper than embarrassment. Something that makes the back of my neck prickle. This isn't normal. This isn't how a stranger reacts to a wrong number. This feels intentional. Like he's not confused at all. Like he knows exactly what he's doing. I hesitate too long. The typing bubble appears again. And this time, when the message comes through, it makes my entire body go still. Or should I say it for you, Ethan? My brain goes completely blank. Not the dramatic kind of blank where thoughts race too fast to catch, but the terrifying, empty kind where everything just stops. He knows my name. That is the only thought that manages to echo in the silence, over and over, louder each time. He knows my name. My fingers tighten around my phone, and I sit up straighter on my bed like that might somehow make this less real. I scroll up again, scanning every message I sent, every word, every punctuation mark, searching for where I might have slipped, where I might have accidentally revealed something I did not notice before. There is nothing. No name. No hint. Nothing that should have led him to me. How do you know my name? I type, then hesitate. Delete it. Too direct. Too obvious. I try again. Do I know you? That is better. Safer. I send it before I can overthink it again. The 3 dots appear almost instantly, like he has been waiting for me to ask that exact question. You tell me, he replies. My stomach twists. That is not an answer. That is the opposite of an answer. It feels like a step forward and a step back at the same time, like he is pulling me into something I do not understand. I glance around my room instinctively, like someone might be watching me through the walls. That is ridiculous. This is just a phone. Just messages. But it does not feel like that anymore. It feels closer. I do not think we know each other. I type carefully, choosing each word like it might explode if I get it wrong. My thumb hovers before I hit send, but I do it anyway. There is no taking anything back at this point. A pause. Longer this time. Long enough for my heart to start pounding again, for my mind to spiral into worst-case scenarios. Maybe this is a joke. Maybe one of my friends gave my number to someone. Maybe my crush somehow found out, and this is his idea of revenge. The thought makes my chest tighten. I shake my head quickly. No, he would not do that. He is not like that. Another message comes through. That is interesting. I frown at the screen. Interesting? That is what he has to say? Because you sounded like you knew me very well, he adds. Heat creeps up the back of my neck. I squeeze my eyes shut for a second, remembering exactly what I wrote. The details. The observations. The way I described things I never said out loud before. Of course it sounded real. It was real, just aimed at the wrong person. I told you, it was not meant for you. I reply, trying to sound firm, even though my hands are still shaking slightly. Then stop texting me, he says. The message hits harder than I expect. My chest tightens, a sharp, unexpected sting, like I have just been pushed away. Good, a logical part of my brain says. That is what you wanted. End it. Fix it. Walk away. So why does it not feel like relief? Why does it feel like something slipping through my fingers before I even understand what it is? I stare at the screen, at his words, at the space where the conversation could end if I let it. My thumb hovers again. 1 second. 2. 3. Then, before I can stop myself, I type, wait. The typing bubble appears immediately, like he never actually stopped watching. Yes, he replies. Just one word. Calm. Patient. Like he knew I would not leave. My heart skips. I should stop. I know I should stop. This is weird. This is wrong. None of this makes sense. And yet, what is your name? I ask. There is a pause. Longer this time. Long enough for doubt to creep back in. For me to regret asking. For me to consider throwing my phone across the room and pretending none of this ever happened. Then the screen lights up again. You can call me Lucas, he says. My breath catches slightly. Lucas. The name settles in my mind too easily, like it belongs there. Like it fits. Another message follows before I can respond. Now, he adds. Are you going to finish what you started, Ethan? My pulse spikes again, fast and uneven. I stare at his words, my thoughts tangling over themselves. Finish what I started. The confession. The one that was never meant for him. I swallow hard, my fingers hovering over the keyboard, caught between panic and something else I do not want to name. Because the worst part is, a small, dangerous part of me wants to. My fingers hover over the screen, frozen in place like if I move too fast, everything will shatter. Finish what I started. The words echo in my head, heavier now, louder, like they are not just a suggestion but a challenge. I swallow hard, my throat dry, my pulse thudding in my ears. This is insane. I should not do this. I do not know him. He is a stranger who somehow knows my name, who talks like he is in control of something I do not even understand yet. And yet my phone is still in my hand. I have not put it down. I have not blocked him. I have not walked away. That should mean something. It was not meant for you. I type again, weaker this time, like I am trying to convince myself more than him. The reply comes almost instantly. But you sent it to me. I stare at the words. Simple. Undeniable. There is no argument against that. My chest tightens, a strange mix of embarrassment and something else that feels dangerously close to anticipation. That does not make it yours. I shoot back, trying to regain some ground, some control. There is a pause. Longer this time. For a second, I think maybe I pushed too far. Maybe he will finally lose interest, and this will end the way it should have ended 10 minutes ago. Then the typing bubble appears again. Slow this time. Deliberate. Then why are you still here, Ethan? My breath catches. I have no answer. Because he is right. I could stop. I should stop. But I am still here. Still staring at his messages like they matter more than they should. Still waiting. Always waiting. I run a hand through my hair, pacing once across my small apartment before sitting back down on the edge of my bed. My phone feels heavier now, like it carries more than just a conversation. I just want to fix this. I type, even though the words feel thin the second I send them. Another pause. Then, fix it how? I open my mouth, then close it again, even though there is no one here to hear me. I do not know. That is the problem. There is no clean way out of this. No undo button. No version of this where I do not feel exposed, where he does not already know too much. My silence stretches. He fills it. You could start by being honest, Lucas says. My stomach twists. Honest. The word lands differently coming from him, like he already knows I have not been. Like he is waiting for me to admit something I am not ready to say out loud. I glance at the screen, at his name now saved without me remembering doing it. Lucas. It looks too natural there. Too easy. My fingers move before I can stop them. Fine. I type, my pulse picking up again. Some of it was real. The message sends. There is no taking that back. My heart pounds as I watch the typing bubble appear again, slower this time, like he is choosing his words carefully. Some of it, he repeats. I exhale shakily, leaning forward, elbows on my knees, staring at the floor like that might ground me. I meant what I said. I admit, my voice barely a whisper even though I am only typing. Just not about you. The reply takes longer this time. Long enough to make me regret every word. Long enough for doubt to creep in, for my chest to tighten with the fear that I have finally crossed a line I cannot uncross. Then his message appears. Then pretend it is, Lucas says. My head snaps up. I stare at the screen, my heart skipping hard enough it almost hurts. What? I type immediately. Pretend. He repeats, calm, steady, like this is the most reasonable thing in the world. Say it like you meant it for me. My pulse spikes, fast and uneven, my thoughts tangling over themselves. This is a bad idea. A very bad idea. Every instinct in me says to stop, to shut this down before it goes any further. But my fingers do not move away from the keyboard. They hover, waiting. Because the truth is, I want to know what happens if I do. My heartbeat is so loud it feels like it is filling the entire room, like there is no space left for anything else, not logic, not reason, not the very obvious fact that this is a terrible idea. Pretend. The word sits on the screen, simple and harmless on the surface, but it does not feel harmless. It feels like a line. One I should not cross. One I already stepped too close to. My fingers hover, trembling slightly, the glow of my phone lighting up my face in the otherwise dark room. It is past midnight now. Everything is quiet. Too quiet. Like the world has shrunk down to just this conversation. Just me and him. Lucas. I swallow hard, staring at his message, waiting for the hesitation to come back, for the panic to push me away like it should. But it does not. Instead, there is something else. Curiosity. Sharp. Persistent. Dangerous. This is stupid. I mutter under my breath, even as my thumbs move over the keyboard. I type one word. Stop. Delete it. Type again. Delete again. My thoughts are a mess, colliding, contradicting, going nowhere. I should not do this. I should end it. I should put my phone down and pretend this never happened. But I do not. I am still here. And he knows it. You are thinking too much. Lucas sends, like he can see right through the silence. My breath catches. I am not. I reply immediately, too fast, too defensive. There is a pause. Then prove it. My pulse spikes again, sharp and sudden. I stare at the words, my mind going blank for a different reason this time. Prove it. How? Am I supposed to prove something that was never meant for him in the first place? My chest tightens, a strange mix of nerves and something else that feels dangerously close to anticipation. I glance at the conversation again, at everything that has already been said, at the line I am standing on. And then, before I can stop myself, I scroll up. Back to the message. The original one. The confession. My confession. My fingers hesitate for a second, then copy a sentence. Just one. Something safe. Something that does not give too much away. I paste it into the chat. My heart is pounding so hard it almost hurts. I stare at the words, my thumb hovering over send. This is the moment. The point where I can still back out. Still stop. I inhale slowly, hold it for a second, then let it go. Send. The message disappears into the thread. There is no taking it back. My chest tightens as I wait, every second stretching longer than it should. The typing bubble appears almost instantly. Of course it does. He was waiting. That is better, Lucas replies. My breath stutters. Better. Like this is a game. Like I just passed the first round. My fingers curl slightly around my phone. I should feel embarrassed. I should feel stupid. Instead, I feel pulled in. Keep going, he adds. My pulse jumps again. No. I type quickly, trying to regain some control, even though it already feels like it is slipping through my fingers. That was enough. There is a pause. Then, you are holding back. My jaw tightens. He says it so easily. Like it is obvious. Like he knows exactly how much I am not saying. Of course I am, I shoot back. Because this was not meant for you. The words feel weaker now, less convincing than before. He does not respond right away this time. The silence stretches, heavy, charged, like something is shifting on the other side of the screen. When his message finally comes through, it hits harder than anything he has said so far. But you are still saying it to me, Lucas writes. My breath catches, my heart stumbling over itself. I stare at the words, my thoughts unraveling all over again. Because he is right. I am. And the worst part is, I am not stopping. I stare at the screen long after his message settles, the words burning into my thoughts like they are not going anywhere anytime soon. You are still saying it to me. My fingers loosen slightly around my phone, then tighten again, like I am caught between letting go and holding on harder. This has gone too far. That thought comes in clear this time, sharp enough to cut through the noise in my head. This is not just a mistake anymore. This is something else. Something I am choosing to continue. And that makes it worse. This does not mean anything. I type, slower now, more deliberate, like I am trying to draw a line I should have drawn 10 minutes ago. I watch the words sit there for a second before I send them. Too late to take it back. The typing bubble appears almost immediately, steady, unhurried, like he is not surprised at all. Then why does it sound like it does? Lucas replies. My chest tightens again, that same frustrating mix of emotions twisting together. Embarrassment, nerves, and something I do not want to name. Because I wrote it that way, I answer quickly, grasping for control, for something logical to stand on. It was meant to sound real. A pause. Longer this time. The silence stretches just enough to make me wonder if I finally said something that will end this. Part of me hopes it does. The other part does not. And now he asks. My breath catches slightly. 2 simple words. But they land heavier than anything else he has said. And now, I stare at the screen, my thoughts scrambling again, trying to find a safe answer, something neutral, something that does not pull me deeper into this. But there is no neutral anymore. Not after everything I already said. Not after I chose to keep going. I exhale slowly, leaning back against the wall behind my bed, staring up at the ceiling like it might give me an answer. It does not. My phone feels warm in my hand. Alive. Waiting. Now it is just a mistake. I type finally. The words feel thin the second I send them, like they do not even convince me. The typing bubble appears again, then disappears, then comes back. Like he is considering something. Or deciding something. My pulse picks up again, quiet but persistent. When his message finally comes through, it makes my grip tighten instantly. You are lying. I sit up straight, my breath catching in my throat. The words are not harsh. Not angry. Just certain. Like a fact. Like he is not guessing. He knows. I am not. I reply quickly, too quickly, the reaction automatic before I can stop it. My heart starts pounding again, faster now, uneven. There is a pause. Then stop responding. The words hit harder than before. Simple, direct, final. My chest tightens, that same sharp feeling from earlier returning, only stronger this time. Stop responding. End it. Walk away. That is what I wanted, right? That is what I have been saying this whole time. So why does it feel like I am about to lose something? I stare at the screen, my thumb hovering again, the silence stretching longer than it should. 10 seconds. 20. 30. Too long. Long enough for it to matter. I should not care. This is a stranger. This is wrong. This is complicated and strange and completely out of control. And yet, my fingers move anyway. You could stop too. I type, the words coming out softer than I expect. Almost like a challenge, almost like I am testing him the same way he has been testing me. The message sends before I can take it back. The typing bubble appears instantly. No hesitation this time. I could, Lucas replies. My breath catches. A second message follows. But I do not want to. My heart stumbles, hard enough it almost hurts. I stare at the words, my thoughts going quiet again, but not empty this time. Just focused. Narrowed down to this moment. This feeling. This pull I do not understand, but cannot seem to ignore. My grip on my phone tightens slightly as another message comes through. Do you, he asks. The question hangs there, heavy, impossible to avoid. My pulse spikes again, fast and loud, filling the silence. I know what the right answer is. I know what I should say. I know exactly how to end this. And yet, my fingers do not move to type it. The question lingers on the screen like it is waiting for me to make a decision I am not ready to face. Do you? Two simple words, but they hit harder than anything else he has said so far. My pulse is loud again, steady and relentless, like it is pushing me toward an answer whether I want to give one or not. I stare at the blinking cursor, my fingers hovering just above the keyboard, unmoving, caught somewhere between instinct and hesitation. I know what I should say. I should say yes. I should say I want this to stop, that I want out, that this whole thing was a mistake from the very beginning. That would fix everything. That would make sense. That would be the end of it. But the problem is, I do not want it to end. Not yet. The realization settles in slowly, uncomfortable and undeniable. I swallow hard, my grip tightening slightly on my phone as I lean forward, elbows resting on my knees again. The room feels smaller now, quieter, like everything outside of this moment has faded away. It is just me, the glow of the screen, and him. Lucas. I exhale slowly, my thoughts still tangled, but my fingers finally start to move. I do not know. I type. The words feel honest. Too honest. I hesitate for a second before hitting send, but I do it anyway. The message goes through. There is no immediate reply this time. No typing bubble. No instant response like before. Just silence. And somehow, that is worse. My chest tightens slightly as the seconds pass. 5, 10, 15. I glance at the screen again, like it might suddenly change if I look at it differently. Nothing. Did I say the wrong thing? Did I push too far this time? Or not far enough? My thoughts spiral again, faster now, louder. This is ridiculous. I should not care this much about a stranger not replying to me. I barely know him. I should not feel this pull, this strange sense of anticipation, like I am waiting for something important. But I am. I really am. Just when I start to think maybe he is actually gone this time, the screen lights up again. My breath catches instantly. One message. That is the first honest thing you have said. I blink at the screen, my heart stuttering slightly at the words. Honest. The word lands differently now. He is not accusing me this time. He is acknowledging it. Something about that makes my chest feel tight in a different way. Less panic. More awareness. Before I can respond, another message follows. So let us make it simple, Lucas adds. My fingers tighten again around my phone, anticipation building whether I want it to or not. You do not know if you want this to end, he continues. My breath slows, just slightly, as I read each word carefully. He is not wrong. That is exactly what I said. Exactly what I meant. And I do not want it to end, he finishes. My heart skips. Just once. But it is enough to throw everything off balance again. I stare at the message, my thoughts going quiet for a moment, like everything is aligning in a way I did not expect. This is not confusion anymore. Not misunderstanding. This is something else. Something clearer. Something intentional. My pulse picks up again as another message appears. So we keep going, Lucas says. Not a question. Not a suggestion. A statement. My breath catches, my fingers hovering again, but this time it feels different. Not like I am standing at the edge anymore. Like I already stepped over it. Like I am already in. I should push back. I should argue. I should remind him that this started as a mistake, that none of this is real, that it should not mean anything. But the words do not come. Instead, my mind goes back to something he said earlier. Say it like you meant it for me. My pulse spikes again, sharp and sudden, as I stare at the screen, my thoughts shifting in a way I do not fully understand yet. If I stay, if I keep going, then what does that make this? My fingers move before I can stop them. Slow, careful, deliberate. What if I do not pretend? I type. The message sends. The silence that follows feels heavier than anything before it. Then the typing bubble appears. And this time, when his reply comes through, it changes everything. Then it stops being a mistake, Lucas writes. Then it stops being a mistake. The words sit there, quiet but heavy, like they are rewriting everything that came before them. I stare at the screen, my breath slowing, my thoughts shifting in a way I cannot quite keep up with. A mistake is something accidental, something you fix, something you walk away from. But this does not feel like that anymore. Not after everything I have already said. Not after I chose to stay. My fingers hover again, but there is less hesitation now, less panic. Just a strange, steady awareness of what this is becoming. Then what does it become? I type, slower this time, like I actually want to know the answer. The typing bubble appears almost immediately, like he has been waiting for that question. That depends on you, Lucas replies. My chest tightens slightly. Of course it does. He keeps putting it back on me, like this whole thing is my choice, even though it feels like he has been guiding every step. Before I can respond, another message follows. Say something you would not take back, he adds. My pulse jumps again, sharper this time. I stare at the words, my mind going blank in a different way now. Not empty. Focused. Narrow. He is not asking me to pretend anymore. Not exactly. He is asking me to mean it. My throat feels dry again, my fingers curling slightly against my phone as I glance up at the ceiling, like I can somehow escape the weight of the moment. I cannot. It is still there when I look back down. Waiting. I scroll up again without thinking, back to the original message, the one that started all of this. The words feel different now. Less like something I should be ashamed of. More like something exposed. Real. I inhale slowly, then exhale, my heartbeat steady but strong. If I do this, there is no going back to calling it a mistake. I know that. He knows that. That is the point. My fingers move. Not copying this time. Not pasting. Typing. One word at a time. Slower than before. Careful. Honest. I meant it when I said I noticed the small things. I type, my pulse picking up again as each word appears on the screen. The way you speak. The way you make things sound easy. I stop, staring at what I just wrote. It feels different. It feels like I am stepping into something instead of hiding behind it. My thumb hovers for a second, then I hit send. The message goes through. Silence follows. Not long, but long enough for it to matter. My chest tightens slightly as I wait, every second stretching just a little too far. Then the typing bubble appears again, slower this time, like he is reading carefully, like he is choosing how to respond. You are not pretending anymore, Lucas says. My breath catches just slightly. Not a question, a statement. He can tell. Of course he can tell. I swallow hard, my fingers tightening slightly around my phone again. No. I type back before I can second guess it. The word feels heavier than it should. Final. Real. There is a pause. Then, good. The single word lands softer than I expect, but it does not feel light. It feels disapproving. Like I passed something I did not realize I was being tested on. My pulse spikes again, quick and sharp, my thoughts shifting as another message follows. Then let me be honest too, Lucas adds. My breath slows, anticipation building again, but this time it feels different. Not like I am being pulled. Like I am leaning in. I knew it was a wrong number, he says. Everything in me goes still. My heart stumbles, hard enough to knock the air out of my chest for a second. I stare at the screen, my thoughts crashing together all at once. He knew. From the beginning. Every message. Every word. Every moment I spent trying to explain, to fix it, to make it make sense. He already knew. My fingers twitch slightly, my breath uneven now as I try to process it. What? I type, the word coming out sharper than I expect. The typing bubble appears again, calm as ever. I just wanted to see if you would stay, Lucas replies. My chest tightens, something shifting deep and unfamiliar. Not anger. Not exactly. Something closer to realization. And you did, he adds. My grip on my phone tightens again, my pulse loud and steady, my thoughts spinning in a completely different direction now. Because he is right. I did. The words echo in my head long after I read them, like they refuse to settle into something simple. I just wanted to see if you would stay. My grip tightens around my phone, my pulse loud again, steady and impossible to ignore. This changes everything. No, not everything. It explains everything. Every message. Every response. The way he never once seemed confused. The way he kept pushing instead of pulling back. He was not reacting. He was watching, waiting, testing, and I walked straight into it. I exhale slowly, leaning back against the wall, my thoughts racing now, faster than before, but clearer somehow. That is messed up. I type, my fingers moving before I can soften it. The message sends, sharp and honest. There is a pause. Not long. Never long with him. And yet you are still here, Lucas replies. My breath catches slightly. Again with that. Again with turning it back on me. I press my lips together, my jaw tightening just a little. He is not wrong. That is the problem. He is not wrong about any of it. You could have just said it was a wrong number. I type, slower this time, more controlled. You did not have to. I stop, deleting the last word. Manipulate. It feels too strong. Too revealing. I settle for something else. You did not have to make it into this. The typing bubble appears, steady, unbothered. I did not make you stay, Lucas replies. My chest tightens again. That same frustrating twist of emotion I cannot quite name. He keeps saying that. Like this is entirely my choice. Like I am not reacting to him, but choosing him. The thought lingers longer than I want it to. You kept answering, he adds. My pulse jumps again, sharp and quick. I look down at my phone, at the entire conversation stretched out in front of me. Every message, every response, every moment I could have stopped. I did not. I cannot even argue with that. The silence stretches for a second, heavier now, more aware. This is not confusion anymore. This is something closer to confrontation. With him. With myself. I inhale slowly, my fingers hovering again, but there is no panic this time. Just a strange, steady tension. So what now? I type. The question feels different than before. Less defensive. More direct. The typing bubble appears almost instantly, like he has been waiting for me to ask that. Of course he has. Now you decide if you are going to keep being honest, Lucas says. My breath slows slightly as I read it, my thoughts narrowing again, focusing on that one word. Honest. It keeps coming back to that. Not pretending. Not hiding behind the excuse of a mistake. Just honest. And if I am not? I ask, my fingers moving without hesitation this time. There is a pause. Longer than usual. Long enough for my pulse to pick up again, anticipation creeping back in. When his reply comes, it is quieter than I expect. Then this ends, he says. My chest tightens instantly, the words hitting deeper than they should. Ends. Just like that. No build-up. No hesitation. Just gone. I stare at the screen, my thoughts colliding again. But this time, they do not spiral. They settle. Because the truth is, I know exactly what that means. It means no more messages. No more late-night conversations that feel like they matter more than they should. No more of this strange, intense pull that I still do not fully understand but cannot seem to ignore. It means going back to before. To normal. My grip on my phone tightens slightly. Normal suddenly feels distant. I swallow hard, my fingers hovering one more time. But this time the hesitation is different. It is not fear of saying the wrong thing. It is the awareness that whatever I say next is going to decide everything. I glance at the screen, at his name, at the conversation that somehow stopped feeling like a mistake a long time ago. My pulse is steady now. Strong. Certain in a way it was not before. My fingers move. Slow. Intentional. Then I will be honest. I type. The message sends before I can second-guess it. The silence that follows is heavier than anything before. Then the typing bubble appears. And this time, it does not feel like a game anymore. The typing bubble lingers longer this time, not flickering in and out like before, but steady, deliberate, like whatever he is about to say actually matters. I feel it before I even read it. That shift in the air, that quiet tension settling deeper in my chest. This is different. Not a game. Not a test. Something else. My fingers tighten slightly around my phone as I lean forward, my entire focus locked on the screen. Then his message comes through. Then do not hold back. My breath catches, just slightly, but enough to throw my rhythm off again. Of course he would say that. Of course he would push it further. I stare at the words, my thoughts moving slower now, more careful like. I am stepping across something fragile that might crack if I move too fast. Honest. That is what I said. That is what he asked for. And now I actually have to do it. My throat feels dry again, but I do not look away this time. I do not scroll up. I do not hide behind something I already wrote. My fingers move. Slow. Intentional. I did not stop because I was curious. I type, the words forming one at a time, each one heavier than the last. I pause, my pulse steady but strong, then keep going. I stop because it felt real. I stare at the sentence for a second, my chest tightening slightly as the meaning settles in. That is the truth. Not clean, not comfortable, but real. I hit send. The message disappears into the thread, and for the first time since this started, I do not feel the urge to take it back. The silence that follows stretches just enough to make my heart pick up again, but it is not panic this time. It is anticipation. The typing bubble appears, slow and steady, like he is reading every word carefully. Then his reply comes. It is real, Lucas says. My breath catches again, sharper this time. Not because I did not expect it, but because of how easily he says it. Like it is obvious. Like there was never any doubt. My fingers curl slightly against my phone as another message follows. You just did not expect it to be with me. My chest tightens, something shifting again, something I cannot quite name, but cannot ignore either. He is right. Again. I did not expect this. I did not plan for this. None of this was supposed to happen. And yet it did. And now I am here. Still here. I exhale slowly, my thoughts clearer now, more grounded than before. Less defensive, more aware. No. I type, the word coming easier this time. I did not. There is no hesitation when I send it. No second guessing. The typing bubble appears again almost immediately. But you are not leaving, Lucas replies. My pulse jumps, quick and sharp, but it settles just as fast. Because this time, it does not feel like pressure. It feels like a fact. A simple, undeniable truth. I glance down at my phone, at the conversation that no longer feels like something I need to escape from. Something I need to fix. It feels like something I am choosing. That realization lands quietly, but it changes everything. My fingers move again before I can overthink it. No. I type, the word steady, grounded in a way it was not before. I am not. The message sends, and the silence that follows feels different. Not heavy, not tense, just waiting. The typing bubble appears again, slower this time, but there is something else in it now. Something less controlled, less calculated. When his message finally comes through, it is shorter than I expect. Good. The word lands softer than before, but it carries more weight. Not approval, not control, something closer to relief. My breath slows, my grip loosening slightly around my phone as I take that in. Then another message appears. Then I want to hear it, Lucas adds. My pulse spikes again, but not with panic this time. Something warmer, something more certain. I already know what he means. Not the copied lines, not the safe words, the real ones, the ones I cannot hide behind anymore. I glance at the screen, my reflection faint in the glass, my thoughts steady in a way they have not been since this started. Honest. That is what this is now. I inhale slowly, then let it out, my fingers moving without hesitation this time. I like talking to you. I type. The words are simple, but they land heavier than anything else I have said. I send it before I can stop myself. And for the first time, I do not want to. I watch the message sit there on the screen, simple and unguarded. And for a moment, I feel exposed in a way that has nothing to do with embarrassment anymore. I like talking to you. It is not dramatic. It is not carefully crafted. It is just true. And somehow that makes it heavier than everything else I said tonight. The silence that follows stretches just long enough to make my pulse pick up again, but I do not look away this time. I do not try to take it back. I let it sit there. I let him read it. The typing bubble appears, slow and steady, like he is taking his time with it, like it matters. My fingers tighten slightly around my phone. As I lean back against the wall, my breath shallow but controlled. Then his reply comes through. I was waiting for you to say that. My heart stumbles, sharp and unexpected, like I missed a step I did not see coming. I blink at the screen, my thoughts catching up a second too late. Waiting. Of course he was waiting. That has been the pattern all along. He pushes. I hesitate. Then I step forward anyway. You sound very sure of that. I type, my fingers moving slower now, more aware of every word. There is a pause, then the typing bubble returns. I am, Lucas replies. My chest tightens again, but not in the same way as before. Less panic. More focus. He is not guessing anymore. He is not testing me in the same way. He is stating things like he already knows how I will respond. And the worst part is, he keeps being right. I exhale slowly, glancing down at the conversation again, at how easily it flows now compared to earlier. There is no scrambling, no awkward pauses filled with excuses, just honesty. It should feel dangerous. It does feel dangerous, but it also feels steady in a way I cannot ignore. Why? I ask, the question slipping out before I can stop it. There is a brief pause, shorter than before. Then, because you stopped pretending, Lucas says. My breath catches again, softer this time, like something in me is settling instead of reacting. He keeps bringing it back to that. Not the mistake, not the wrong number. Just me. What I choose to say, what I choose to mean. I swallow slowly, my fingers resting against the edge of my phone, my thoughts quieter now, but deeper. So what happens now? I type. The question feels different than before. Not uncertain, not defensive, just real. There is a longer pause this time. The longest yet. Long enough for my pulse to pick up again, but it does not spiral. It just waits. like I am waiting with it. When his reply finally comes, it is not what I expect. Now we stop hiding behind a screen, Lucas writes. My entire body stills. The words hit differently. Not like a suggestion. Not like a test. Something else. Something that shifts the ground under everything we have built so far. I stare at the message. My breath slowing as my mind catches up with what he is actually saying. Stop hiding. That means. My fingers tighten slightly, my pulse rising again, sharper now. What do you mean? I type, even though I already have a feeling I know the answer. The typing bubble appears almost immediately this time. No hesitation. No pause. I mean we meet, Lucas replies. My heart jumps, hard enough to make me sit up straighter without realizing it. Meet. The word echoes in my head, louder than everything else tonight. This was supposed to stay here. Safe. Contained in messages. Something I could walk away from if it became too much. But this is different. This is real in a way I cannot control. My thoughts collide again, faster now, louder, but there is something underneath them. Not fear. Not exactly. Something closer to anticipation. That is a bad idea. I type, even though my fingers hesitate before hitting send. The message goes through. The typing bubble appears instantly. Then say you do not want to, Lucas replies. My breath catches again, my thumb hovering over the screen. The answer is right there. Simple. Easy. I just have to type it. I do not want to. I stare at the keyboard, my pulse loud in my ears, my thoughts suddenly very clear. Because the truth is, I do not type it. I stare at the screen, my thumb hovering just above the keyboard. The words he sent still echoing in my head like they are waiting for me to either accept them or shut them down completely. Then say you do not want to. It should be easy. It should be automatic. I inhale slowly, my chest rising and falling as I try to steady the sudden spike in my pulse. This is where I stop. This is where I draw the line. This is where I remind myself that this started with a mistake, that I do not know him, that meeting someone like this is not just risky, it is completely irrational. My fingers twitch slightly, ready to type the answer that would end this cleanly. I do not want to. For simple words. That is all it takes. I lower my thumb closer to the screen. And then I stop. Because the problem is not that I cannot type it. The problem is that it would not be true. The realization lands quietly, but it hits harder than anything else tonight. I swallow, my throat tight, my pulse loud in my ears again. I do not want to say no. That is the truth. I stare at the keyboard, my thoughts colliding, trying to reshape themselves into something safer, something more logical, something that makes sense. But nothing fits anymore. Not after everything that has already happened. Not after everything I have already admitted. I exhale slowly, dragging a hand through my hair as I sit up straighter, my back pressing against the wall. My room feels smaller again, like the walls have moved closer without me noticing. My phone feels heavier in my hand, like it is carrying more than just a conversation now. It is carrying a decision. I look back at his message, then at the empty space below it. Waiting. Always waiting. He is not pushing this time. Not sending another message. Not filling the silence. He is giving me the choice. And somehow, that makes it harder. I inhale again, slower this time, letting the air settle in my chest before I let it out. My fingers finally move. Careful. Measured. Honest. I did not say I do not want to. I type. The words appear on the screen, steady, undeniable. My pulse spikes the second I hit send, my breath catching as I watch the message disappear into the thread. There is no taking that back. No softening it. It is exactly what it is. The silence that follows stretches longer than I expect. 10 seconds. 15. 20. My heart starts to pound again, not with panic, but with something sharper. Anticipation. Uncertainty. The weight of what I just admitted settling in slowly. The typing bubble appears. Disappears. Then appears again. Slower this time. Deliberate. My grip tightens slightly around my phone as I wait, every second stretching just a little too far. Then his reply comes through. That is not the same as saying you want to, Lucas says. My breath catches again, my thoughts stumbling for a second before catching up. Of course he would say that. Of course he would not let it stay in the middle. He never does. He always pushes it one step further. Always forces it into something clear. Something real. I stare at the words, my pulse steady but strong, my thoughts no longer scattered. Just focused. Because he is right. Again, what I said is not enough. Not for him. Not for this. My fingers hover again, But this time there is no hesitation, just awareness. I know exactly what I am about to say. I know what it means. I know there is no stepping back from it once I do. And still, I type it anyway. I want to. I write, the words forming clean and steady on the screen. My heart pounds the second I send it, loud and undeniable, like it is marking the moment something shifts completely. The silence that follows is different now. Not tense, not uncertain, just still. The typing bubble appears almost immediately. And when his reply comes through, it is simple, direct, final. Good, Lucas says. My breath slows, my grip loosening slightly around my phone as the word settles in. But it does not end there. Another message follows. Tomorrow, he adds. My pulse spikes again, sharp and immediate. Tomorrow. Not someday. Not eventually. Tomorrow. I sit up straighter without realizing it, my mind racing to catch up with the sudden reality of it. This is happening. Not just words. Not just messages. Something real. Something I cannot hide behind anymore. My fingers hover again, my breath uneven now, but not with fear. Something else. Something closer to anticipation. Where? I ask, the word slipping out before I can overthink it. The typing bubble appears instantly, like he has already decided. Of course he has. You already know, Lucas replies. My entire body stills. My heart stumbles, hard enough to knock the air out of my chest for a second. I stare at the screen, my thoughts crashing together all at once. Because I do know. And that is what makes it real. My entire body goes still as I read his message again, like I am trying to convince myself I misunderstood it the first time. You already know. My pulse is loud, uneven, my grip tightening around my phone as the realization settles in, slow and heavy. He is not guessing. He is not suggesting a random place. He is referring to something specific. Something I already thought about. Something I did not say out loud. My breath catches, shallow and sharp, as my mind replays everything from earlier, every word, every hint, every detail I might have overlooked. And then it clicks. The place I mentioned. The one buried in that message I was never supposed to send to him. The coffee shop. The one 2 blocks from my apartment. The one with the corner window and the quiet music and the barista who always remembers my order even when I wish he would not. My chest tightens, something between disbelief and something dangerously close to certainty. I did not say the name. I did not send the location. But I described it. Enough for someone paying attention. Enough for him. I swallow hard, my throat dry as I stare at the screen, my thoughts racing now, faster than before, but sharper, clearer. You mean the coffee shop? I type, my fingers slower this time, like I am stepping into something I cannot take back. The message sends, and the silence that follows feels heavier than anything before. Not tense, not uncertain, just real. The typing bubble appears almost instantly, like he has been waiting for me to say it. Tomorrow, 10 in the morning, Lucas replies. No hesitation, no question, a plan. My heart jumps, hard enough to make me sit up straighter again, my breath catching as the reality of it settles in deeper. Tomorrow, 10 in the morning, not abstract, not hypothetical, real, scheduled, happening. My fingers hover over the screen again, my thoughts colliding all at once. This is it, the moment where everything shifts completely, where this stops being something I can hide behind and becomes something I have to face. A part of me wants to pull back, to slow this down, to question it, to remind myself how strange this is, how fast it moved, how little I actually know about him beyond a name and a voice in my head I have already gotten used to. But another part of me is quieter, steadier, the same part that kept me here this whole time, the same part that did not let me type no. I exhale slowly, my fingers finally moving again. You sound very sure I will show up. I type, my pulse steady but strong now. There is no delay this time. No pause. I am Lucas. Replies. My chest tightens again, but not in the same way as before. It is not pressure. It is not control. It is certainty. His certainty. And somehow, it makes my own feel clearer. I glance down at my phone, at the conversation that no longer feels like something accidental or temporary. It feels chosen, built, real in a way I cannot deny anymore. My fingers move again, slower, but without hesitation. And if I do not, I ask, the question slipping out even though I already know the answer I am hoping for. There is a brief pause this time, just enough to make me wait for it. Then, Then I will still be there, Lucas says. My breath catches again, softer this time, something settling in my chest in a way that feels unfamiliar but not unwelcome. He is not threatening. He is not pushing. He is simply there. The thought lingers longer than it should. I swallow slowly, my grip loosening slightly around my phone as I take that in. Tomorrow, 10 in the morning. The same place I have been 100 times before. Only this time, it will not feel the same. Because this time, I will be looking for someone. Someone who already knows me in ways he should not. Someone who chose to stay just as much as I did. My pulse steadies, my thoughts quieting as the decision settles into something solid. I glance at the screen one more time, at his name, at the time set in place like it was always going to happen. My fingers move one last time. I will be there, I type. The message sends, and for the first time tonight, the silence that follows does not feel like waiting. It feels like the beginning of something I cannot take back. The next morning feels unreal before it even begins. I wake up before my alarm, my eyes opening to the faint gray light slipping through my curtains, and for a second I forget why my chest already feels tight. Then it hits me all at once. Today, 10 in the morning, the coffee shop. I lie there for a few seconds, staring at the ceiling, my heartbeat already picking up like it knows something I am still trying to process. This is actually happening. I push myself up slowly, running a hand through my hair. My thoughts quieter than last night, but heavier, more grounded. There is no more back and forth. No more hiding behind messages. Just one decision I already made. I get ready without overthinking it, which feels strange in itself. No second guessing. No changing outfits 3 times. Just simple, clean. Like I am trying to act normal, even though nothing about this feels normal anymore. By the time I step outside, the air is cool, the kind that wakes you up whether you want it to or not. I check the time on my phone. 9:42 a.m. too early. Or maybe just early enough. The walk to the coffee shop feels shorter than usual, like my mind is skipping over everything else just to get there. My pulse is steady, but I can feel it in my chest, in my hands, in the way I keep checking my phone even though there are no new messages. He has not texted. Not this morning. Not since last night. For once, he is not guiding this. I am. That thought settles quietly as I push open the door, the familiar sound of the bell above it cutting through the soft music inside. The smell of coffee hits me instantly, warm and grounding, the same as always. Everything looks the same. The same tables. The same window. The same quiet hum of conversation in the background. And yet it feels completely different. I step inside slowly, my eyes scanning the room without meaning to, my breath catching just slightly as I take it all in. There are a few people already here. A couple by the window. Someone typing on a laptop near the counter. Nothing unusual. Nothing that stands out. Except, I feel it before I see him. That strange awareness, like something shifts in the air just enough to pull my attention in one direction. My gaze moves, almost instinctively, toward the corner table. And then I stop. He is already there. Sitting exactly where I imagined without realizing I had imagined it. Calm. Unhurried. Like he has been there for a while. Like he knew I would walk in at this exact moment. My heart stumbles, hard enough to make me pause mid-step. He looks up, and for a second, everything else fades. The noise, the people, the space between us. It all disappears, leaving just that moment, just that. Look, just the quiet recognition that hits deeper than anything else so far. Because I know him. Not his face, not his voice, but him. The way he watches, the way he waits. The way he does not look surprised at all. Like this is exactly how it was supposed to happen. My breath catches, my pulse sharp and loud again as I take one step forward. Then another. Closing the distance I spent all night pretending did not exist. I stop in front of the table, my fingers curling slightly at my sides. My thoughts strangely calm despite everything else. He studies me for a second, his gaze steady, unreadable but not cold. Then, finally, he speaks. You came. Lucas says, his voice quieter than I expected, but certain in a way that feels familiar. My heart skips, my breath unsteady for just a second before I find it again. I meet his gaze, something settling in my chest, something that feels less like doubt and more like clarity. You knew I would, I reply. He does not deny it. He just watches me for another second, like he is confirming something only he understands. Then, slowly, a small smile touches his expression, subtle but real. Sit. he says, gesturing to the chair across from him. My pulse spikes again, but this time it is not from hesitation. It is from the realization that this is where it actually begins.